afternoon. We are group
16!
My name is Anne.
My name is Ivana.
My name is Richelle.
My name is Joep.
And my name is Danique.
And we're going to tell you something about operations management.
First of all, what is operations management? Jones and Robinson defined it as the management of processes that convert inputs into outputs.
Today we are going to ask ourselves the question, how does operations management work in a university? The core processes of a university are sharing knowledge for students, sharing knowledge for lecturers, administrative activities, support, back office and Osiris are examples of that, student counseling such as a study career coach and personal development. To get a better inside view in operations management within a university, we would like to discuss the following topics with you. First, we would like to talk about supply chain management, secondly, quality management, and thirdly, service management.
Let's start off with the first topic, the supply chain of the university. Keith Oliver defines supply chain management as the process of planning, implementing and controlling the operations of the supply chain with the purpose to satisfy customer requirements as efficient as possible. Supply chain management spans all movement and storage of raw materials, work in process inventory and finished goods from points of origin to points of consumption. The core business of a university is mainly about sharing information. For this reason, a university is highly independent in relation to suppliers. To ensure the core processes can be achieved, a university has to deal with a few suppliers. The main suppliers on which they are relying provide energy, water and IT services. The risk factor may be valued as low because the probability of occurrence is quite low. However, the impact of a failure from the supplier's side is high. If there would be no energy, the lighting, internet and smart boards would not work. The result would be that the core business can't be continued until this is resolved. Even though these examples are implicit to a university, other suppliers are not necessary to continue the core process, which is sharing knowledge. In short, supply chain management doesn't play a big role in operations management in a university because of the few suppliers. However, reliability is key for having the right suppliers.
The second topic we're going to talk about is quality management. What does quality management mean for a university? There are several definitions of quality. American Society for Quality defines it as the characteristics of a product or service that satisfy stated or implied needs. Phil Crosby, on the other hand, defines it as a product or service free of deficiencies. Joseph Duran defines it as just fitness for purpose. However, quality is also relative. Quality can be perceived differently because it's always compared to some standard or performance.
As an example, a lecturer gets hired at a university, he has many accreditations and diplomas, and next to this, he is friendly and seems to be a colleague that can add value to the university. However, during the lectures he gives, he doesn't seem to get the message across. He's nervous and students aren't satisfied with the way he is lecturing. This example of difference in perceived quality can also be described as performance-based view and perception-based view. Whereas the performance from the lecturer seems perfect, he has the right diplomas, he seems friendly and intelligent, however it is perceived differently by the students. They see someone who is inadequate in lecturing. A model used often in quality management is the quality gap model. This model describes the expectation gaps in quality between several stages of service or product delivery and helps tracking possible mistakes in service design and performance. To clarify, we will use an example of the lecturer described earlier. Management expectations of the quality of the lecturer are high. He's perfect for the job. However, the students receive the quality is poor. Here gap 4 is applicable. This gap describes the difference between the performance, the lecture, and a promise made in external communications, a good lecture.
The quality of a university is of high importance for many stakeholders. Students could lose their diplomas, teachers could lose their jobs, and the overall reputation can decline fast if the quality is bad. Therefore, in operations management, quality management is an important topic for a university. There are 3 methods to ensure quality. Firstly, there is quality inspection. The simplest way to manage quality is to inspect the product or service before it is sold or presented to the customer. It involves only those employees who are directly concerned with the making of the product or delivery of the service and their superiors. Examples of quality inspection within a university is, for instance, a board of examiners, which checks the exams before they are introduced to the students. Secondly, there is quality control. After designing the quality level and setting standards, the principal role of quality control is checking on conformance at several stages throughout the process. The quality can be measured internally or by an external auditor. Typically, a number of approaches are adopted. Internal measurement can be done by, for example, round-table events with students or questionnaires about the lectures and lecturers filled out by students every semester. External measurement throughout courses is done every few years by the accreditation organization of the Netherlands and Flanders. Thirdly, there is quality assurance. Quality assurance is based on a set of quality standards, such as certificates from the accreditation organization of the Netherlands and Flanders. This is an independent accreditation organization established by the Dutch and Flemish government. This organization is hired by the NHTV to ensure the quality of new course materials and maintain the quality of given courses. Also, changes to courses will first be verified by this organization.
This altogether is the basis of total quality management. Total quality management focuses on the continuous improvement of overall business performance. The central idea is that it's more efficient to execute all activities right the first time. This saves an organization time on product and service failures. This would save the organization on cost as well.
Quality management involves several costs, namely prevention costs, assurance costs, internal failure costs, and external failure costs. An example of prevention costs could be the training of your staff, backup materials such as laptops, and a system that keeps the Wi-Fi on during emergencies. An example at assurance costs could be the accreditation organization cost. Further on, we have the internal failure cost. You could think about the re-inspection cost. At the external failure cost, you could think about IT failures, an internet outage, or an electricity outage.
How about service management within a university? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, the definition of service is business activity that involves doing things for customers rather than producing goods or a single act of doing something for a customer. Their definition of management is the activity of controlling something or of using or dealing with something in a way that is effective. Let me explain you about service failure. It is possible that a client does not receive the service that is prepared for due to a service failure. Service failures within a university could be new employees. Looking at degrees, a lecturer can be very good, but in reality the performance can be received completely different. Here there is a link to the performance-based view of quality. Another example is a technological breakdown. No internet, a breakdown of the smart boards, breakdown of the information system, and as an example, breakdown of NetSchool.
Looking at the service recovery paradox, it can be said that a partly negative service experience, a service failure, can lead to very positive service experience. Within business companies, this is often the case, but for universities, this paradox is not completely applicable. Within universities, it is hard to change a negative experience to something positive. An example of this is the case of in Holland universities. Already in 2005, in Holland fell into disrepute because of lacking in education. In 2010, in Holland again made the news because of being accused of fraud. Although in Holland improved its educations under guidance of the NVAO, at this moment the reputation of in Holland is still blemished. This negative service experience has still not become a very positive experience, whereby the recovery paradox is not applicable. To sum up, the following topics, supply chain management, quality management and service management, are the basis for operations management in a university. The supply chain management doesn't play a big role in operations management in a university because of the few suppliers. However, reliability is key for having the right suppliers. Moreover, in general, it can be said that quality management in a university is crucial for continuous improvement. Lastly, if quality fails and a service failure occurs, universities cannot use the service recovery paradox, since it doesn't work for universities as the theory explains.